Zaki, I have a question about liquid staking. Sorry for my ignorance. So what do you think is the difference between the sort of other projects having, right? You have Superfluid staking, you have liquid staking that you're working on, and you have P-Stake. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah.
Or you say how are these different? And second
Yeah.
question, well, if we do liquid staking for Akash, will that anyway impede with Superfluid staking or P-Stake, or doesn't make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say that, like, I'll say, I'll put this in a couple of things. Like, let's compare liquid staking and superfluid staking. Both of these systems are designed to try to solve for the world where you have yield from staking and yield from DeFi, and they're competing against each other. Now, superfluid staking, just to like summarize for anyone who kind of doesn't know, is the idea of, instead of staking Osmo, Osmosis is the first project, at least, that's going to use this strategy. Instead of staking Osmo directly, like right now, if you're an Osmo participant, you get your Osmo rewards, and you have to decide. It's like, do I go back into an Osmo pool, like an LP pool, or do I go into or do I stake my Osmo? For some of the big pools, like the staking reward APR and the rewards for being in the Osmo, like the Osmo Atom pool, are actually pretty similar to each other. So now you have to choose. And this is like not good for osmosis because it's pulling liquidity that could be in providing liquidity for trades out of the trading pools, and it's like not good for the economy. And so, how do you align security? This is what superfluid staking is solving for, and it works really well in an environment in which you have DeFi primitives like deeply integrated into the application, like into the consensus layer of the chain. They have this terrible named thing called interfluid staking that I'm not going to try and explain, where it's like, your other chain can now incentivize people to contribute to osmosis liquidity while simultaneously having those coins contributing to economic security. It's another way of like having your cake and eating it too. But interfluid staking sort of assumes like sort of the Osmo vision of like one liquidity, sort of one like black hole of liquidity at the center of cosmos, that like everything else kind of like, the structure of a galaxy, about how Sagittarius A like kind of gives structure to the whole Milky Way galaxy. It's this like giant mega black hole in the center. Like, I think that's like kind of the vision that like pervades the osmosis worldview. Liquid staking is really for a different worldview, which is, hey, like, we think that there's going to be like we want people to stake. We want value at stake. We need economic security of our application. But we think our token, like, really what it wants to do is go out and explore. I think that's a way better name, Josh. Hyperfluid staking. Holy shit, yes. Much better. It sounds less like a sex act. The flip side of this is so the liquid staking module is basically for, hey, we want our token to actually like flow out, interact with DeFi like over the wider interchain ecosystem. We think that there is this like natural sort of ecosystem that exists around our coin. So it's kind of like, like if like the metaphor I would give is superfluid staking is about a black hole, and the liquid staking module is about a supernova. That would be.
You can understand if I stake and I get back some sort of a contract that's liquid, I can pass that around.
Yeah, you can take that anywhere and start interacting with DeFi contracts, all like that are going to use that in this like wider ecosystem, and you get these like layers built on top of it.
Got it.
Now, how does this interact with P-Stake? I think P-Stake is like the right idea, right? It's the idea that we want, that like I've been pushing for, which is, you know, you have this DAO, it provides governance, it incentivizes staking with certain validators. The problem with P-Stake is that it requires you to unbond your atoms, move them into this like machinery that P-Stake has set up, and that like at the other end you get like a P atom, which is, I'd say, you know, in a world where, you know, 60 something % of atoms are bonded, like, and like mostly the atoms that are not bonded are either people like holding liquidity for with the plan of deploying it in DeFi, or actually hold it, or it's already deployed in DeFi. There isn't really a lot of scope there. What you really want to do is tap into the liquidity of the already bonded atoms. And that's where the liquid staking module, and like, honestly, like I'm just like sort of waiting for the P-Stake team to show up in the liquid staking module conversation, because like the liquid staking module is designed to be a huge accelerator for them too. Now it brings more competition because, you know, brings Lido, and Notional is working on something, and Joe is working on something with Quicksilver. Like it brings more competition, but also that like my core view, like this has been a real change in my views over the last like maybe like 3 years of thinking about this, which like the original idea was like, we're going to pick one way in which liquid staked atoms gets turned into like synthetic assets. And like now I'm like, there must be a marketplace, there must be competition. And like Lido agrees with me, and Quicksilver agrees with me, that there must be competition in your network in order for this to be healthy, so that the market can discover what like the right way, what the best assets are going to be.
Yet but another vector for decentralizing things.
One reason I think that, like, you know, for instance, it would be great to have the liquid staking module on Akash is, you know, you could, Quicksilver could, what I'm hoping someone will do is actually, instead of building just staked atom, there will also be like a synthetic like IBC ETF asset, a staked IBC ETF kind of asset, where you're getting yields from like all of like many different Cosmos chains that all implement the liquid staking module. And I'm hoping that exists. And then market has to decide, would people prefer that as the reserve currency, or will people preserve the staked atom as the reserve currency?
Makes sense. So the big difference between P-Stake and liquid staking is liquid staking, the projects need to include the module, and that gives you the staking derivatives.
But it's like anyone who's staked can just like send a transaction,
right,
and get liquid staked asset. They don't have to like unbond and like go use a bunch of machinery.
So it's a three week unbonding for AKT, right? 21 days.
So with liquid staking, you don't have that wait period.
Yeah.
Actually, the stake contract is liquid, and you can
actually, I mean, one of my current hobby horses in general in Cosmos is I'm working on a bunch of projects to like just basically make this unbonding period now not a thing. I think we can pretty much get rid of it in the next year.
Oh, why would we want to do that?
Yeah.